Everybody, and welcome back into Barley Studios. Today we are in the outside studio / workshop. That is still an evolving thing. You can check out that playlist there on my YouTube channel. Now today in the studio, I'm actually just going to be extending some shelves on my desk on the inside art studio. So the shelves in general is just kind of low profile. I designed them specifically so one, they would be cheap to create. Two, I could easily move the individual shelves up and down if I wanted to. Three, they look pretty good and they give me enough space on my workstation to where I can stow stuff away on the shelves, but they don't take up too much actual surface area on the desk itself. I can kind of clear out those last bottom shelves on these shelves that I had built, and I can make the desk look really open, or I can fill them in, make it look really full and nice for like YouTube backgrounds and things like that. So the shelves in general are just created out of just one size wood, and it is super easy to create. I really hadn't made a video about that, and I really haven't done a studio tour in quite some time. So I'll probably have that coming out in maybe in the next few months or so. Maybe I'll do an in-depth studio tour of my compact art studio inside the house. Of course, you know that I've been working in this studio as well, and it's just a little bit of a different type of project on my YouTube channel. Now, the wood that we're going to be using today is just reclaimed wood from a dumpster. I'm always out in the field looking for free stuff, and, you know, let's be honest, construction workers throw away a lot of wood. And sometimes I'll be dropping by a throwaway dumpster, and I'll see a piece of wood or a 2x4 that will interest me, and I'll pick it up and throw it in my truck, and I'll roll on with it. This is one of those projects. Now, in this version that I'm going to be creating today for the shelves is the exact same that I had created for the rest of the desk. And as we roll in through these B-roll shots here, you can kind of see that it's kind of covering the entire desk area. And I'm going to go ahead and finish out this last corner now, which will allow me to stow paint and some things away on that. I'm only going to install a usage of 2 shelves in this, and they are going to be gauged so that I could put 30-ounce tumblers on that. When I had created the previous ones, one of the mistakes that I did is I did not give myself enough room for a 30-ounce tumbler, and that's the #1 tumbler that I create when I'm creating new artistic designs. I'm not saying I don't create shorter tumblers, I do. But if I created a low profile shelf, I don't have room to display that 30-ounce tumbler, so it sits it off to the side, out of the way, in a not really ideal location. And it forces me to kind of build up art in different areas that I really don't want that in. So we're going to go ahead and create this in uniform sizes so that I can fit 30 ounces on 2 shelves. And then the top one will be a wider gauge of shelf, so that way I can add some surprises later. I really want to incorporate a way for me to store my paint in a more efficient way, and I'm going to kind of incorporate something different. So stay tuned to the overall art studio playlist, which you will also find all of this workshop build in, and you'll find that eventually. But today we're just going to be creating just some simple shelves. Now, just for ease of creation, this piece is going to go in the corner. So it's going to be overlapping the back shelf just a little bit, which will allow a pocket-sized little corner where I can put stuff into. I'm not going to waste that real estate in the corner if I can avoid it. Now, remember that all of these shelving units are specifically designed to be sectioned off and removed. So if I want to break any of them in half and move them, just like my workstation here, I can break that in half and pull them apart. That's what's important to me. So you can build yours certain ways if you want to, but we're just going to create 2 sides and some shelves. But I did create a little diagram of what we're going to be building. Super simple, guys. We're going to do some pocket holes as well as some paint and some screws, and then that's about it. Up here, we are going to create just 2 sideboards that are roughly around 36.5 inches in height. And then we're going to go ahead and space these apart 24 inches. We'll compensate for the overall size of those outside pieces, and then we will take that off the overall length of the shelves themselves. We will pocket screw those in with 2 pocket holes on each end of the shelves. The first shelf will be a 10.5 inch height, and then the second one will be a 22 inch height, and then that will leave the remainder up to the very top of the shelf open to anything that I would like to add in. Super quick, super easy, and that's what this is designed to be. Now, remember, these are cheap shelves. They're super easy. If something gets destroyed or if I want to move the shelves up and down, it really is no big deal. It doesn't hurt it in any way. And it's not like I'm spending a fortune putting a new shelf into the studio when it's just in the background of everything, right? You paint it white, it's blended in the background, it's covered by art and materials and jars of paintbrushes and pencils and pens and stuff, and it disappears. So there's no big deal on that. So let's go ahead and finally, I know you're waiting for it, pull some wood in here. Let's get some things cut up and we'll pocket screw them together. Now just be aware, you guys, as a disclaimer, my son is going to be in the studio helping me with this process. So I will get as much of this on camera as I can, and it's just supposed to be nice and fun. But don't get it twisted. This is me and my son's time, and I'm just bringing you into the studio to enjoy the process as well. So let's get to it, guys. Let's add a shelving unit to my workstation inside. Ooh, it's hot out here. Alright guys, so the other shelves that I have are just really narrow. So like this is the overall depth of that shelf, and they just sit at the back of the desk, right? So I have this old reclaimed piece of wood, as I said. I got it out of a junkyard dumpster. But just because it's kind of, you know, frowned upon to get lumber out of dumpsters, there's really nothing wrong with it. As long as it's not warped crazy bad, then it's going to do the purpose that it is serving. So I need 2 pieces of this cut for the sides, inch, okay, 3.5 by 3/4 inch. And it's, you know, just really good quality. There's nothing, no pitting, a little bit of warpage, but nothing that's going to keep me from using it. And it's going to do the job. So from our diagram and referencing the inside shelves, I need 2 cuts for the sides that are going to be 36.5 inches in length. So we're just going to quickly mark this off here. 36.5. Just like that, got a mark. And then we'll cut that, and then we'll cut the next one. All right, we'll go ahead and mark off the second one here. Now, one thing that I did do with the other ones, the other shelves inside, is I did put carpet on the bottom of the legs so that they did not dig into the countertop. And that was quite of a look. It was a little bit pricey of a countertop just because it's a really good quality. And I got that from IKEA. It's actually a kitchen counter, so it's not like just something you buy at Home Depot or Lowe's. I bought it from IKEA, and it's quite nice. As you can see there in that B clip, it really does have a really good wood grain effect, and it's held up quite well. All right, there's the very first one. Number 2. All right, so we have these 2 here. And there are those cuts. Not too bad, right? All right, you guys, so there's our 2 sides right there. So there they are. Well, it could be spaced probably about that far apart or so, but we'll go ahead and set those off to the side there. Lay those down. And then we need just 2 shelves, but technically speaking we need 3 because I plan to put one on the top too, just as a top support. Just to kind of keep those tops from bending in, because it's not thick wood, right? It's kind of thin, so I don't want it to like warp at the very top. So I need to take off 24 inches. I need to take off at least 1.5 inches because this is 3/4 times, so 3/4 times 2, that'd be 1.5 inches. 1.5 inches off of 24 inches will be 22.5 inches in length, width, if you look at that shelf wise. So we need 3 of these at 22.5 inches in width. It really doesn't have to be that way. I gave myself about 2 or 3 inches of, like, you know, but not 2 or 3, maybe like 1.5 inches of overhang, so that I didn't like fall off the edge of the desk on the corner. But it needs to be the same. Whatever they are, all 3 need to be the same length to give the same height width across the whole shelving unit, and they need to be right, so that way it just looks uniform. Because what we'll do is we'll even just put it up against here, and we'll use this stainless steel countertop to square it as we put those together. My son's going to help me put all the screws in, and we'll just do pocket holes in all of them so they fit together very nicely. So 22.5 times 3, let's go ahead and get these marked and cut. All right, so we're looking at 22.5. Let's go ahead and measure this off here. 22.5. See, it's not very wide. Measure the other side, see if I can get another little, oh, look, we can get 2 cuts out of the same piece of wood. Look at that, look at that. We're gonna get 2 cuts out of the same piece of wood, and we need 1 more. We need 1 more cut here, and then we will be good to go. Mark off the last one here. Ruler off the side. All right, so there's our 3. All right, so we'll just make these cuts real quick, you guys. To cut that little extra piece off. Make sure you wear your safety glasses, guys. It's very important. Super simple, super easy. And then there they are. Cool deal, guys. So next up, we're going to go ahead and pocket sink these with some pocket screw holes with a Craig jig. And we're going to do 2 at the end of each one just to keep it from warping back and forth as I put stuff on it. And then we will be good to go ahead and sand these and to assemble them. Cool, right? You gonna drill?
No, you don't do it.
Oh, way too deep. What happened? Oh no. Can you grab a piece of sandpaper? Alright, so all you're going to do is you're just going to take it like this, and we're going to sand it kind of smooth. job, dude. Boom shakalaka. Boom shakalaka. All right.
Dad.
Cool. Look at all this mess we made. You want to vacuum it up?
Yeah.
Put your hand right here. Put your hand right here. Ah! Put your hand there. Ah! Good job, dude.
Are you done?
So what we're going to do is we're going to assemble it. All right, so we have 3 pieces. Let's see, is this one long? Which one is the longer one?
This one.
Okay, pull it towards you. All right, which one is the longer one? Are they the same size?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. How about which one's longer now?
This one.
All right, so you got 2 long ones, and we have 3 shells that are the same height. Oh, width, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to put these on the bench like this. And we're going to measure them off, okay? So the first one, so let's go ahead and put them up against that. Okay, I'm going to make it to where you can do this. All right, so there's those.
Are we drawing on them?
Sure, kinda. All right, you got the marker?
Right.
All right, got the marker. All right, I got this. I've got a measuring tape right here. All right, so the first shelf is going to be roughly 10.5 inches in height. Okay, so 10.5. So look, so the first shelf height, starting from the bottom to the top, needs to be 10.5 inches in height.
That is
So
a
look,
dot in here.
right. All right, put a mark, 10.5. All right, put a mark right here all the way across. All the way across, right there. Go straight. Go straight. Here, do this. Drag it towards you. Along the line. There you go. See, when you drag it towards you, it makes it a little bit easier to pull it. Do it again. Make sure that mark is on there. Okay. And there's a good line right there. Okay? So then the second line is going to be 22. So the next line is going to be right there. So draw another line right there.
Just straight. Right on.
All right, so we're going to take them and we're going to put one against the tabletop. Then we're going to have the other one like this, okay? All right, so the very first one, we get to line up our shells. Oh, dear. We have to line up our shells. So let's make this one the very bottom one because it's the ugly one, okay? That's the one I messed up a screw on. And then we have another one right, let's see, let's put it right there. And then the very last one is going to be at the very top, okay? Right? Sound good?
Oh,
Yes?
my name.
Yeah.
Hey,
All right.
can we put it right here, Dad? Can we put it right there?
So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and screw these in with some pocket screws. Let me find my tool and then we'll get them attached. Are you ready? Are you ready? Help me stand it up. Help me. Help me. It's so heavy. It's so heavy. Wow. Whew. It is steamy out here, guys. So here's the shelving unit already completed with our 2 sides and our 3 shelves. Super simple with only around 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 screws. So only 12 screws in this unit. Now we're going to use probably 2 screws to attach it to the back portion of the shelving unit that's already on the work desk inside the studio. But just be aware that we're going to go ahead and apply a satin paint to this, and then that way it blends well with the rest of the desk shelving. Later on down the road, one day I'll probably attach a deeper top shelf to this. That will also add a lot of stability to it, and then I'll probably continue with this side shelving all the way to the ceiling. So stay tuned for that when I start to add more additions on to the desk inside the studio. Let's go ahead and get a layer of spray paint on this awesome shelf. What is it? All right, everybody, so we are in the indoor studio here. Now, I've got a lot going on here. I've got some clay projects that are drying. I can't really move them around a whole lot. I don't want to put them on the floor or put them where they can get knocked over. So my station is a little bit messy, but I did go ahead and clean this countertop over here out a little bit. But as you can see in the background here, we are missing some stuff. It looks really open and it feels incomplete, especially from the camera angle that you are viewing from now. Normally what I'll do is I'll have you kind of over to the right hand side in the middle of the room facing this direction, and it's a flat view in the background, and I kind of crop that out. Well, with this being done in the background, I'll be able to move my camera around, and you would always have some kind of fun background in, you know, the background of my YouTube videos or Instagram or TikTok or anything. Now obviously if I face the camera that way, it's more so my wife's crafting station and the kids' crafting table. But over here, I need something over here, guys. And the most logical thing is to continue the shelving unit around. Now, just a moment ago, I said that I was going to paint it in white, and I plan to do that, but I'm not going to do that today or in this video content. We're going to go ahead and get it put over here. I'm going to get it stocked with some stuff on the shelves, just kind of tidy things up in here a little bit. And I'm going to, over the next few weeks, maybe a month or so, decide how I want to install my paints. I don't know if I want to install my craft paints over here or if I want to install my tube paints. I'm really thinking about installing like a swinging arm system out so that my paints can swing out towards me, and then use magnets on the lids and the caps so that they're like attached magnetically and they hang like easily. So I may do like a row of like acrylics and a row of oils. And we'll kind of experiment and have fun. I may eventually move all of these craft paints to over there and then just have that station all paints and alcohol inks, and then remove these two top shelves here and then have tumblers up there as well. We'll see how that goes over time, and it's not like I can't remove any of these little shelving units at any time. They're just pocket screwed into place. All I gotta do is remove those two screws on both sides, and then I can remove those segments and then add them again later. Now, here in a few moments, I'm gonna go ahead and get the shelf put in. I'm gonna kind of give you a view of that. I know it's kind of in the back corner, so it's kind of hard to get a video of that. So let's go ahead and have fun. Let's get this installed, and then as I, over the next month or so, decide how I want that swinging arm paint station to be. At that point, I'll probably come back and paint that. So look forward to that under the studio playlist, workshop playlist there on my YouTube channel. But let's go ahead and get this little shelving unit into place, and let's see how it will look with the improved background. All right, you guys, so as you can see, I do have the workstation just kind of cleaned up. I even wiped off my countertop there, and we are ready to install the shelving unit. Remember that the leg will kind of sit right here on the side, and then the other one will be recessed behind that corner there, and then it will have a little bit of an overlap, because I never planned to put one here when I had this shelving unit out in my living area a long time ago, before it was in this room. And the wall here stops there, and then it goes all the way over, and then there's a door and a little small wall there, so it stops right there, right? So this piece was always here, and if I could do, could have done everything all over again. This portion here has a straight up U shape there, or a L shape there, and there's no break. The support is on that back corner, whereas over here that support was already on the outside. We're not going to redo all that, because then I'd have to extend that out. So we're going to use that corner, and I'll just put some stuff in the corner there. You'll see as I stock it. But anyways, the shelf's going to come up just that top right there. And then later on down the road, I'm going to talk about here in a few moments about what I want to do with this station. This is my painting station for canvas work. I'm going to talk about this in a few moments. And this is also a reason why I have decided not to paint this today. So let's go ahead and get this situated, and then let's see what it looks like. Alright guys, so here is that shelving unit here, and I did spray this off. So me and my son sat outside the driveway and we sprayed off the kind of dirt and debris off of it, and it's just going to sit right down in there, and we'll slide it back. Now I don't have any carpet on that yet, but I probably will put some on there. I'm gonna make sure that's scooted all the way back, which gives me about an inch right here of overhang on the desk itself. So there's that put into place. Now it's not attached at the back yet. I'm gonna leave that loose for now. We're just gonna kind of set some things up here, get a feel for how it feels. I'm gonna do some painting. I'm gonna see how I would like for this to swing out as I spoke about that painting station. So we'll kind of tinker with this over time. So what we'll do is I'm gonna go ahead and just have fun stocking the shelf real quick in a time lapse. And then what we'll do is we'll talk about it. Here's that Mad Mike Studios print that he sent me. Pretty wicked. Gotta have somewhere to put that. Bloody skull. There's a piece of art that I plan to do soon. I'm gonna turn myself into a little people. One of those little Fisher Price toys. Gnome right there. If you're interested in purchasing that, you can. It's a Grim Reaper gnome. Make sure it's pushed all the way back there. And it also applies pressure to kind of keep the shelving unit pulled forward a little bit. Looks good. Tumblers that I still have yet to finish. Some of you may recognize that star from a certain Pixar movie. Toys R Us train car, pretty cool. Store some stuff up there. Richard Petty. And Star Wars ornament. I'm just going to put these up here. I'll try to keep this on the right hand side so that that bulb will see it. So I'm going to turn those lights on in just a second. Knickknacks, things I've just never finished or worked on. Haven't worked on recently. Bowser, little Batman car. Little gnome. Got my eyes on you. Push all these jars into place. I'd actually put these over here. Not too long ago, I actually made that little Hawaiian Punch Man jar when I was little, a long time ago in school, in like elementary school or something like that. What do you think? All right, so let's go ahead and take a look and see what it looks like with the lights on. Alexa, studio on. Right on. All right, let's get a zoomed in view, guys. It's a lot better. Okay. So yeah, I still have to get a nice piece of wood to go across the whole upper top. And I think it's going to be deep enough to bring it out a little bit further. But what that means is because this is such a narrow shelving unit, it's going to have so much upward pressure that I need to make sure that when I add that, I anchor that before I continue this same size all the way up to the ceiling. And I'll have storage all the way across. And the TV, I'm thinking about eventually mounting here. Okay, so we'll come out of that in a minute. So that shelving unit right there, that top shelf will come all the way across here, and then it's gonna dead end right here. And then there's my little shelves. So it's just a little bit extra added storage. And then of course, as I finish these tumblers out and they get sold, I'll be able to fill this in with other stuff. So this will become more art supplies and things like that. It really does open this area up so that I have my, my painting palette here. I can easily get to it, easily clean it, lay out paints, lay out brushes, things like that. And then I have my actual crafting station with my halo light. The halo light's strategically put here so that it can look at I can have it over my crafting station here, or I can swing it over and have it over my easel. So back and forth. Now let's talk about my easel station here. Right now I have just 2 large storage drawers here. Now originally at one point I had those under my desk. And this isn't a full-on studio tour, guys, so just don't expect that. But just briefly, what I expect to do is I'm gonna make a shelving unit that continues upright, but I'm gonna come across probably about right there, and I'm gonna make a actual plywood wall here that is inserted, and it's just attached by like 4 or 5 screws along the sides. That way I can avoid the molding on the bottom of the wall, and it will be flush. And I'm gonna do a cleat board system so that I can just, instead of using an easel here and having drawers and all this stuff here, I'm gonna have just the easel, my palettes just, or my canvases, just have my canvases just on the walls itself. So there would be no more easels, no more equipment, nothing on the floor here. It would be all open. So if I wanted to like actually paint while sitting on the floor, I could do that. If I want to put a huge canvas all the length of the wall here, then I could do that. And it would just hang on the wall, and it would give me so much more space here. Because in a small studio, we're all about space, right? I realized I forgot one thing. Let me go ahead and put these brushes over here. Looks good, right? Epoxy stuff over here. Just have that in a little tray in case it leaks. This is Flint's Sister epoxy here. I'm almost out. I need to order some more. And this is just junk epoxy. Amazing Clear Cast or Lumelite. Just junk epoxy to throw away in case I want to just make something random. Looks good, right? Okay. Obviously it's not painted white, but it'll get there. Alright guys, so as you can see, I can push my chair all the way back. I can be sitting here, talking to the camera here. I can zoom it in a little bit. And then there's actually stuff in that corner, so you don't just see a pure, just like beige or white wall. And I can talk to you on the camera with me having a nice background. So you can see something I'm working here on the easel, or I can attach something there. Now once it's anchored to the wall, into the other shelving unit, I could hang cameras and light fixtures to that if I choose to. But when I continue that shelving unit all the way across, I can actually attach lighting to that shelving unit and run power to it. So that way that would be a stationary light, always angled at the correct angle on my canvas work. What do you think, guys? Leave in the comments. Is it a cool video? I thought it was a very simplistic overall build. Don't get it twisted. In total, I think I only spent probably $2 on it in screws at the most. I think I only used 12 screws. The wood was reclaimed, and of course we washed it off and we sanded it smooth so it doesn't have any burrs or splinters sticking out of it. And we did pocket screw all that together. Hope you guys enjoyed the content. Overall, it was pretty simple, but it was just a fun process to have on my YouTube channel for you guys to enjoy. And you kind of got a little bit of a tour here on my workstation inside the house. I haven't done a studio tour, but as things evolve, naturally, eventually, that probably will happen. I hope to catch you guys on the next video. Make sure you check out some of my other content, like and subscribe, and we'll see you later.